Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. Yes, my hair is pink. Let's move on from that. So today I have here my last TBR of the year. I was going to do the game, but between the fact that I have to read 10 books for the self-published science fiction competition, and I have like 6 anticipated releases to read this month, I was just like, not happening. Without further ado, let's just get started. Because you know what? I'm finishing series this month. Yes, you would not believe your eyes, but I'm finishing the first law, the third book, The Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie. If you haven't been here a while, you know that I do like this series, but the thing is, I'm a plot-driven reader, and this doesn't have plot. At least the first 2 books do not have it. I really hope for this third one because, you know, I do really want to jump into the Joe Abercrombie hype, like the hype train, but I cannot seem to be able to do it. So I'm super sad about it. Like, I cannot even tell you what these books are about. Like, you basically follow 3 main dudes. That's it. It's a grimdark fantasy. Everyone loves this. I just really hope I can really enjoy book 3. I have give the previous books like 4 stars. They weren't bad at all, but like I want to fall in love with this. I want to fall in love with this too. Like, you know. Then I will also be finishing the Chronicles of the Unnamed Throne by Brian Stavely. This is the last book, the Last Mortal Bond. I really want to read the next like sequel trilogy that has come out this year. So I've been trying to finish this since last year and I haven't done it. So it's happening. Can you believe it? Basically in this one, we follow the 3 heirs of this empire, basically. After the death of the emperor, one is training to be like a super soldier. One is the actual inheritor and he is basically being trained in a monastery. And the other one has lived in the capital throughout all her life. And she's basically the one that maneuvers politics. It's great. I thoroughly enjoyed the first 2 books. Like, one of my favorite characters turned a little bit dumber. Book 2, but we're going to forgive it. But yeah, I really want to finish this one. I really enjoyed this series overall and I want to see how it ends. Of course, anticipated releases. I just don't have my physical copies and I don't think I will till January probably, but I have the audiobooks pre-ordered for everything. So the first one, The Bale Throne, book 3 in the Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. I'm so excited about this one, like, oh man. By the way, you're seeing this on Wednesday. The live show will be on Saturday. I think it was 12 EST. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken. Curse of Kings. I don't think I'm ready, honestly. Like, I really don't think I'm ready for book 3. Like, book 2 is already painful. Book 3. It is over 1,000 pages, by the way. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is a great Asian-inspired fantasy. I will highly recommend to anyone who enjoys political intrigue in fantasy. Like, this series is so good, man, so good. One of my favorite series of all time. Amazing. Almost my favorite book of last year, The Grace of Kings. Wall of Storms, probably my favorite book this year. Then, of course, Jade Legacy. I had an arc of this for like 2 months, but I just couldn't fit it anywhere. Basically my normal reading has been done with audiobooks, so anything that doesn't have an audiobook, I'm not reading it. Which is complicated, but I'll try it this month. But yeah, Jade Legacy, I'm not ready for having my heart broken, but man, I already bought this audiobook today. I'm recording this on the 29th of November. It's coming out tomorrow. Probably the first book that I'll start next month, after I finish Wall of Storms, which I just started today. Jade Legacy is another great Asian-inspired fantasy, mostly urban fantasy, but it's basically about a family of gangsters. It's just so good, man. Like, so good. Just try Jade City over there. It's amazing. Highly recommend. I think it's a book that everyone will like. Then, of course, the final book in The Expanse is coming out this month. Leviathan Falls. I'm so not ready. This month is going to be horrendous. Like, why? I'm just not ready. Like, what am I going to do? I'm losing the Greenbaum Saga, losing the Expanse. Soon I will lose the Dandelion Dynasty because they're all getting into an end soon. What am I going to be hoping for? The next year? I don't know. But yeah, it's book 9, by the way. But they all read so fast, like you can read them super fast, these books. And they all kind of feel like standalones, but they are actually just like in this overarching arch. It is... I'm not ready. Then running up from my previous TBR for like June or something like that, I will be finishing Spirits of Vengeance by Rob J. Hayes. I love this series, The Mortal Techniques, but when I got an arc of this, I wasn't feeling well at all, so I basically stopped reading it because I wasn't enjoying it, even though it's one of my favorite series, so I wasn't going to let that happen. So I basically stopped reading the book, and I want to finish it before the end of the year. This one I do have to read physically because it doesn't have an audiobook yet, but I'll do it. Like, I'll do it. It's one of my favorite series. I know this reads super fast. I never read the audiobooks. I never listened to the audiobooks of Never Die in Poems Gambit, actually. I read them all physically, so I think I'm going to be fine with this. But yeah, look at this cover, like, it's so beautiful. But yeah, basically in this one you're going to hold like a demon hunter, and it's just great. In comparison with the other two, I think that is mostly like more ambitious than the other two. The first one is very condensed. The second one is just great, but this third one feels like bigger in a way. I don't know how to describe it, but please let me know if you have read it, if you have felt the same. Then of course I will be reading another Cradle book. This is Bloodline, also book 9. I'm so happy with how much I have read in this series this year. Like, I'm literally up to date. Like, I only have to read book 10 that came out this month. I did a great job. But yeah, if you have been here throughout this whole year, you know I've been loving The Cradle. Basically, it's such a cool series. I know, now I understand why everyone was just like, if you like Sufficient Was Magic, why haven't you read The Cradle? You were all so right. Like, so right. I'm really excited. These two apparently are extremely emotional, apparently. I'm going to be a mess throughout whole December. Like, holy shit. But yeah, I still don't have a physical copy. I literally just ordered it like yesterday because I finished winter still. But yeah, I should be here this week. But The Cradle is amazing. You already know that, but The Cradle is amazing. Then for my Spanish book, I will be reading Frontera Oscura by Sabino Cabeza, which looks great. Science fiction is not like a very prominent genre in Spain, so I'm just really curious. I do have to read this one physically also, but it's 315 pages, yeah. So I can manage that, it's pretty short, but I'm just excited. It's weird. It won an award last year, so I'm quite excited to read it, but yeah, I needed another science fiction. Like, there's tons of fantasy this month. Then, because I really wanted to continue this series and read some dark fantasy, I'm going to be reading She Dreams in Blood by Michael R. Fletcher. This is book 2 in the Obsidian Path series, the one being Blackstone Heart, which I love and read this year. Immediately bought the sequel, which I was lucky enough that came out next, like the next month. Basically in this one we follow Crane. He wakes up and he has to recover pieces of his heart to just regain his memories. It's filled with necromancy. I love it. But yeah, I'm super excited to continue. I also have the audiobook for this, so let's just try it. And then I'll try it, but I don't think it would work. I really want to read The Liar's Knot, which is the continuation to Mask of Mirrors, which I read this month and loved. It was so good. That book was so good. But the thing is, the audiobook doesn't come out until March. And right now, that's a pain in my ass. So I'll try it, but I don't think I'll make it. I'll try it though. I'm super excited to read it. Maybe if I finish like my batch of books for SPFFC, maybe I'll make it. But I don't know. And the last one that I'll be reading is like a last minute addition to this is Our Last Echoes. Yeah. Which is by the author of Rules for Banishing. This came out this year, is her new release. And I'm by reading this with Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book and Amber from Books of Amber. I'm super excited. I barely know what this one was about. They're just like, hey, you want to read it? I'm just like, yes. Because I've been looking for something like Rules for Banishing. Like, that book is so good for being like a YA horror, so good, man, so good. I have like a super soft spot for YA horror. I find them like so much better than adult horror for some reason, like House of Hollow and Hold Back the Tide. Those are some hits, like, oh, so good. But yeah, I will be reading this one also. And that's all. So many fucking books. I had to cut a couple of them because I was just like, okay, if I manage this, then I'll manage it, but I won't put it on my TBR. I will also be reading Something Scaring the Children because I've been loving that graphic novel, but that's for another day. Are you planning on reading something in particular this month? Have you started reading your TBR? In that case, just let me know down in the comments below. But as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.